when I can't explain what just happened. Because we lost the year before we won the championship. We lost to Iowa in the semifinals, and then that one hurt me.
Black women not liking Caitlin Clark for whatever reason. That loss there was the most horrific one of them all. Are you serious?
Dawn Staley has been through countless victories and defeats, but nothing prepared her for this. After Caitlin Clark dismantled her team, Staley delivered one of the most emotional interviews of her career, even questioning God.
Is that the toughest loss of your career?
Career?
Of your coaching career?
Yeah.
That loss to Iowa, because that was the Caitlin Clark
Yeah.
team. That's the
Number one, you could tell the loss still, like, kind of chokes her up, right?
What led to this raw, candid reaction? The plays, the stats, the emotions. It's all here.
And when that didn't happen, they were hurt, and that hurt me. Like, that hurt me to my core.
Remember, Staley helped keep Cece off the Olympic team, stating, "I didn't realize she was that good after playing Clark twice in 2 years and losing once. Give me a break."
Before she ever came along, there were a lot of outstanding basketball players who happened to be black females that was doing their thing on the WNBA level.
For Dawn Staley, the aftermath of that loss was unlike anything she'd experienced in her coaching career. She's been in high-pressure games before, but this time, the pain was visible. In an interview on the Higher Learning podcast, Staley paused and said, "I questioned why. I need to know why."
Now, it didn't hurt me enough to didn't think there was a God. But I did question, hey, why? I need to know why. I need to know why.
That wasn't just a comment about basketball. It was a moment where she let the world see how deeply this defeat cut. The loss didn't just sting. It went straight to her core, shaking her faith and forcing her to confront feelings she usually kept private.
This girl, the Golden Goose, comes along, and she wreaks havoc. She's the Rookie of the Year. She's 4th in the league in MVP voting.
You could see the toll it took on her. In the podcast, her voice was softer than usual, her answers slower. The confidence she's known for was replaced by a kind of heaviness, as if she was still carrying the weight of the loss days later.
The answer to the why happened a year later. I can show you better than I can tell you.
right.
So God left me on the why.
She admitted that the failures hurt more than the victories, a statement that says everything about the kind of competitor she is.
In the league, her rookie year.
Wow.
Outstanding. She's like Steph Curry. She could pull up from anywhere. You understand? She has that kind of...
See, Dawn Staley built a whole roster to defeat Caitlin after her loss to Iowa, while Caitlin played with the same teammates to get back to the finals. That's why even when Dawn won after that, Caitlin Clark looked like the GOAT, even without a championship, because of what Iowa meant to her and her ultimate underdog mentality.
Number one, you could tell the loss still, like, kind of chokes her up, right?
Dawn Staley is acting as stupid as Swoops, must be close friends. But what could push someone like Dawn Staley to the edge? What kind of performance could make one of the game's most resilient leaders question everything she believed about herself, her team, and her faith? That's where Caitlin Clark enters the story.
And maybe it's because that fan base that she has and her being a young white lady.
Caitlin Clark's on-court dominance that night was something no one could ignore. The way she controlled the game, you could feel the energy shift every time she touched the ball. Clark wasn't just scoring, she was orchestrating.
All is spectacular. It's not like she's not a scrub. She's not only can play, she's a star caliber player who draws this attention.
Eyewitness reports described a triple-double for Clark that night, a rare feat in a game of this magnitude, and enough to send South Carolina's defense scrambling.
Black women not liking Caitlin Clark for whatever reason. That loss there was the most horrific one of them all. Are you serious?
The attention to her every move was intense, and for good reason. She didn't just play well, she made it look like she was in complete command, turning a high-stakes matchup into her own stage. Clark's reputation was already huge coming into this game. At just 21, she had people comparing her to legends. Analysts talked about her range like Curry's and her vision like Bird's.
Let's check out some of the comments. Somebody said no wonder South Carolina fans still crying about it. Have demonetized CC for damn coach, can't even let it
Fans packed arenas to see her, and you couldn't scroll social media without seeing one of her highlight reels. Her deep threes, lightning-quick passes, and ability to read defenses kept everyone guessing.
Maybe even why she was left off the Olympic team. That is why she was left off the Olympic.
On this night, she put all of that on display. When South Carolina tried to trap her near the arc, Clark calmly pulled up and hit a contested three from near the logo. The crowd erupted, and you could almost see the frustration on Staley's bench.
One is, Caitlin Clark had her questioning God.
The very next possession, South Carolina doubled her, and Clark dissected the defense with a no-look pass that set up an easy bucket. It was the kind of sequence that left even the best defenders looking lost.
So to me, there's nothing wrong with the resentment that you may feel towards what she represents.
There was a rhythm to her game that night that felt different. Every time South Carolina tried to adjust, Clark was a step ahead. She wasn't just reacting, she was setting the tone. Her court sense stood out, not just in the flashy moments, but in the little things.
And then just for Iowa to get smoked by LSU the next game.
She'd slow the pace when she needed to, speed it up when she saw a gap, and always seemed to know where her teammates were. That ability to control the flow of the game is something you only see in the greats. It's not just about putting up points. It's about making everyone around you better and forcing the other team to play your game.
It's actually good because it provokes a level of hostility, which elevates the competitive fervor, and y'all go out there and compete, and everybody gets paid.
The pressure was on from the opening tip, but Clark thrived in it. South Carolina's defense, which had shut down so many opponents all season, looked out of sync. They threw everything at her, traps, switches, double teams, but nothing seemed to work. Clark's confidence never wavered. She'd shrug off a missed shot, come right back and bury the next one. And when it mattered most, she delivered. As the game wore on and South Carolina tried to mount a comeback, Clark's poise kept Iowa steady. She made the smart passes, drew fouls, and hit the free throws that sealed the win. The reaction to her performance was immediate. Commentators ran out of ways to describe what they were seeing. Social media blew up with clips and takes, some calling it the best performance of the year, others just in awe of her composure. Even longtime fans of the game admitted they hadn't seen anything quite like it. Clark's play wasn't just about the numbers, though a triple-double in a game like this is rare enough to turn heads. It was about how she made it happen. She made it look routine, as if this was just another night at the office, even while rewriting the expectations of what a player can do on this stage. Staley's reaction after the game said it all. The South Carolina coach, known for her calm and detailed breakdowns, was left searching for answers. How do you prepare for someone who's rewriting the playbook in real time? It wasn't just that Clark had outscored them or racked up assists. It was the way she had forced Staley's team to play catch-up, no matter what adjustments they tried. You could see it in the players' body language and hear it in post-game interviews. They weren't just beaten, they were upended by something they hadn't really seen before. What happened that night went way beyond the box score. It changed the conversation about women's basketball. Clark's performance became the new benchmark, and suddenly everyone wanted to talk about her impact, not just on the court, but on the sport as a whole. Her dominance didn't just end with the final buzzer. It set off a wave of reactions, debates, and even changes in how fans in the basketball world looked at the game. And that's where things really started to get interesting. The fallout from Clark's game didn't just stay on the hardwood, it spread everywhere, from social media timelines to WNBA betting lines, and even to the way people talked about the future of women's basketball. The reaction from fans was instant and intense. On Twitter, one post summed up the shock. Dawn Staley's team never got hit like this before. I'm speechless. That tweet went viral, capturing the disbelief and respect pouring in from all corners. Over on TikTok, a clip of Clark draining a deep three racked up millions of views, with the top comment reading, "She's got NBA range in a college game. Insane." Fans stitched these highlights, tried to mimic Clark's moves in their driveways, and debated what her performance meant for the future of the sport. The conversation wasn't just about stats or final scores. It was about how this game made people feel. You could see the divide. Some celebrated Clark's brilliance, while others felt for Staley, whose pain was visible to everyone watching. Social media wasn't just buzzing, it was flooded. Instagram became a reel of Clark's logo threes, fast breaks, and celebrations, but also close-ups of Staley's raw emotion after the loss. The storylines wrote themselves. Some posts praised the spectacle, calling it historic, while others zeroed in on the heartbreak, reminding everyone that even legends have moments where they're brought to their knees. The internet thrives on these contrasts: dominance and vulnerability, triumph and heartbreak, turning a single game into a shared experience for millions. But the impact didn't stop with memes and highlight reels. The ripple effect hit the business side of basketball, especially in the WNBA's betting markets. Caitlin Clark's influence isn't just about what happens on the court, she changes how people engage with the sport right down to the money they're willing to put on the line. Before her quad injury, the Indiana Fever, expected to draft Clark, saw a surge in betting. At Caesars Sportsbook, handle on Fever games with Clark was cut in half compared to their first 4 games, down roughly 50%. BetMGM reported a 37% drop in the number of bets and a 23.5% dip in the total wager amount after Clark's absence. Those aren't just numbers. They're proof that one player can move the needle in a way few others ever have. The pattern held across the industry. Kevin Hennessy, vice president of communications at Fanatics Sportsbook, confirmed, "We've seen a downturn in WNBA handle and bet count after Clark's injury. It wasn't just a blip, it was a clear, measurable shift." The most popular WNBA wager at ESPN Bet on Friday was the Sun plus 12.5 over the Fever, showing how expectations and strategies changed the moment Clark was out. In the first 3 games with Clark, Indiana attracted over 90% of the moneyline bets. When she was sidelined, that action leveled off almost immediately. The market adjusted, and so did the fans' confidence. This goes beyond just gambling. It tells you how modern sports fandom works. Stars like Clark aren't just players. They're the reason people tune in, the reason people care, the reason they put money on the line. She's a brand, a headline, and the focal point of a new era for women's basketball. When she's on the court, the spotlight follows. When she's not, there's a noticeable drop in energy and engagement. That's what makes her impact so remarkable. It isn't just about what she does with the ball. It's about how she draws in everyone around her, from hardcore bettors to casual fans scrolling through their feeds. These 2 names are now forever linked in basketball lore, and their next encounter could reshape the sport again. If you follow WNBA drama as closely as we do, hit like and comment on Staley's comments and Clark's influence.